our acting superintendent Dr. Moises Aguirre has said that once we go into September, we will again reassess based on the California and County of San Diego health and safety protocols. And if they still say it's not safe to be on campus with that many people, then the decision will be made for the rest of the semester. So we're not going to do it month to month. The feedback we were getting from a lot of people is that they would prefer to know more of a long term than a week to week or month to month so that they can make plans. So Dr. Aguirre said that he will be making that decision in September and letting us know if we're going to come back in a hybrid model. Even if we do come back, it would be a hybrid model, which means that only a certain percentage of students would come onto campus each day. So on Monday, it would be one group of students, on Tuesday, another group, and then the rest of the week, they would be at home doing distance learning. So that would be at best, at the most. And if that were to happen, or if and when we do get to that point where we have any amount of students, whether it's 100 or 2,600, of course, everything currently has been cleaned and sanitized. So at this point, our custodians have worked really, really hard this summer, and they've thoroughly cleaned every single classroom, every office space. But since some of us, as you can see, a lot of us are here for textbook distribution, and we do have some office staff that have also been coming in to help parents with registration over the phone. We still don't allow any of the public to come onto campus. We have to make sure that we're safe as well. So the custodians do a great job in sanitizing and making sure everything is clean on campus. The administrators at the end of the day give them a list of who is here on campus and what areas have to be cleaned again. We only make one set of restrooms accessible so that, because we have so many restrooms, we want to make sure that someone doesn't slip into one restroom and nobody knows and then it never gets cleaned. So the custodians know which restrooms are available that we can use, and those get thoroughly cleaned and sanitized every single day. And then we use precautions. Right now, I'm not wearing my mask because I'm in my office by myself. But as soon as I open the door and walk out, this comes on. And you saw the assistant principals. You see Dr. Salazar walking there. He's wearing his mask because he's outside doing textbook distribution. So we're always making sure that we're taking all precautions. If we're touching books that we're giving to students, we're wearing gloves. We make sure that we put the books on a table, walk away, and then we call the student over to pick them up. So we are staying 6 feet apart at minimum. So we are taking precautions. And if and when we get to the point that we are going to allow students and staff back onto campus, we are going to have a meeting with parents. We're going to communicate that to you during the meeting, and we're going to make that information accessible online. We're going to send you a lot of information about what precautions we're taking on campus, and then we'll also facilitate any questions you may have. So it's not just now that I'm answering your questions, but this will be ongoing as we get closer to potentially all coming back onto campus. And the last question I had for me is, when students return to school, do they have to be checked each morning as they come in by the school nurse for their temperature just to make sure they don't have a fever? The answer is yes. Right now, any student, because we started textbook distribution on Monday for the students taking Southwestern College classes, and then all our 9th graders came on the campus on Wednesday, our 10th graders yesterday, some of our 10th graders still this morning, our juniors are coming on later this morning. So yes, especially parents that have been dropping their students off where you park in the parking lot, and it's only your student that can come on the campus wearing a mask. The school nurse is at the entryway. We only have one entry onto campus. We make sure everything else on campus is locked up so nobody, including staff, can slip onto campus before having their temperature checked. So this morning when I came on the campus, I had my temperature checked by the nurse every day, whether it's the principal, assistant principals, a teacher, anybody walking onto campus has to have their temperature checked. There are lists of questions that were asked. Do you have a sore throat? Do you have a cough? Any of those questions with a response of yes, that means you can't come onto campus. But especially the temperature, if we see that it's above normal, then we tell them they can't come onto campus and for them to please get checked, go see their doctor, because again, the safety safety and health and well-being of our students, staff, and our parents is our number one priority. We don't want to take any chances. So with that, Mr. Latta, I'm not sure if you're able to get you were able to get your audio again?
Yes, I'm trying to. I hope everyone can hear me. Good morning again. Thank you. So again, my name is Mr. Lara. I'm the attendance coordinator, the new attendance coordinator. I'm very happy to be back at Sweetwater. We have a couple questions about attendance. So one question is, how do I check my students' attendance? The program you need to use is the Infinite Campus Parent Portal. And that's the same program you use to do the online registration. So hopefully you did that recently and you have your password. And that is the system that we teachers take attendance and parents can see the daily attendance. When you're setting up your parent portal, or you can always go in and change it, it does ask you if you want to be notified by phone or text or email when your student is absent. Please click on that, and then you can get a notification when your son or daughter has been marked absent. Attendance has been a bit of a challenge because our new way of online learning requires students to log on Monday through Friday. Today's Friday, so your son or daughter probably right now, yes, right now it's 9:20. They should be in their first period class right now. They go to all classes on Friday, and then Monday through Thursday it's block schedule. That schedule is available on our website, and I'm going to put in my phone number and my email. So if you have any follow-up questions, you can certainly get a hold of me. Okay. The next question was about work permits. So we are doing work permits again. The district was doing them for a while, but now the school sites are doing them. You need to contact the assistant principal's office. Ms. Matos is one of the assistant principal secretaries, and they're all being done online now. We do check attendance and grades first before we issue the work permit. But you would just contact the assistant principal's office, and then they will show you the online system to complete the work permit. Okay. Someone said about next question, if my child cannot log on because they're having attendance problems and they get marked absent, what do we do? So that has happened, unfortunately, and we know, like this morning I had tech problems and I'm trying to log back in, and it does happen. So if your son or daughter did get marked absent, but they were trying to get online, but they were having technical problems, please communicate that to the teacher. The best way is through an email or through a Jupiter Grade. Hopefully all parents, you all have your Jupiter Grade account. You can email them through Jupiter Grades and let them know you're having a problem within that same day. That way they can fix that attendance. If it's the day after, then you need to contact the attendance office, and the best way to do that is through email to Ms. Nakashima, our attendance technician, so that she can fix the attendance. So we know that that's been happening, and we're trying to fix those as they come up. But please let us know. One thing we have noticed, sometimes students are emailing the teachers saying, I can't go to class today because I have a dentist appointment or something like that. And that's great that they're letting their teachers know, but that does not excuse the absence. We still need you, the parent or guardian, to contact the school via email or phone to excuse the absence. Students cannot excuse their absences themselves. It's great that they're letting their teachers know, but as the parent or guardian, if you could please still, like you would do on a normal day when we were in school, contact the attendance office and let them know that your son or daughter cannot make it to class because of whatever the reason is. And that way they can get it cleared as an excused absence. Okay? I think that pretty much is it for the questions. So I'll put my information into the chat right now, my phone number and email, so you can, if you want to have any follow-ups, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lara. So he's a great resource whenever you have any questions or doubts regarding attendance. So again, he's putting his information in the chat box. There is also a question in the chat box, and Ms. Denise Iniguez, did write down her information as well in the chat box. a question in regards to which app or program to use when checking grades, following up on student grades, or their learning management system being used. So Ms. Iniguez also is a great resource where she can show parents that how to check grades using Jupiter Grades, because that is where our teachers document all of the students' grades. And but regarding any of our software programs, Ms. Iniguez can certainly provide that help on what to use. All right, next set of questions, and I did see another question there, but I'll address that after I have one of our assistant principals who's going to be addressing the questions that were posed to our assistant principals. So I know we have an assistant principal that's going to be answering those questions. If you can go ahead.
Hi, good morning again. This is Mr. Horner. You can see Suit High Pride behind me. Sorry. So stepped away from the textbook distribution. I wanted to speak with you just a little bit regarding those questions that did come up. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull those questions up. Thank you for submitting those. We want to make sure that we get, clarity on all those different things. So one of the first question that came up is, where can I get help to enter my Infinite Campus parent login? This parent stated that about 2 months ago they were having some problems. They've been trying to contact help and have been working on that. So I can go ahead and put in the chat box. There's a couple of emails that would be able to help you out here. First of all, we have our registrar, which is Saraí Garcia Puga. She is our registrar. She'd be able to help you with those issues that you're having getting into Infinite Campus, that parent login. Another resource for you could be Dr. Salazar, Alexander Salazar. He is our assistant principal in charge of technology. And so he'd be able to troubleshoot that issue as well for you, because we want to make sure that you get on there with Infinite Campus and get ready to go. It's really great to be able to access Infinite Campus. Also, too, I really encourage you, I know it was stated earlier, but getting onto Jupiter Grades and checking Jupiter Grades often, every day, really, especially for your students, is really key, because that's the main communication link between the teachers and the parents and the students. So please make sure that you're logging into Jupiter Grades as well on a regular basis. Another question that came up stated, I don't understand my daughter's class schedule. So we really want to make sure, I don't know if that's because there was an error, you feel like she's in the wrong class, or if there were some other questions regarding that. The best resource there would be to reach out to that your daughter's counselor, which I know we met the counselors earlier. We have that alphabetical breakdown. That's also posted on our website. And I know our counselors do an awesome job of maintaining a website specifically for the counseling center as well, which and an Instagram page and all that kind of stuff. And so, there's links to that from our website. And so I would definitely reach out to that counselor. If for some reason you can't get through to the counselor, then of course also reaching out to the assistant principal, we can help out as well based on our alphabetical breakdown. Next question that I had was regarding grades from the spring, regarding that kind of do no harm grading policy that was instituted at that time. And so I definitely don't want to try and address that, with a whole group of people. That's kind of a personal matter with that student. But I would encourage you to go ahead and send me an email. I will put my email in the chat as well. And so that you can bring that question up to me and perhaps the specifics of that, so that then I can research that. Yes, there was a policy instituted March 13th of 2020 was the last time we were on campus in the spring. And so the district instituted a policy where students' grades could not go any lower than what they were at that time on March 13th. Now, one thing that did come up that this could be the case, I'm not sure, is that sometimes when we came back in April, a student might turn in a couple assignments, their grade goes up in April, and then they miss an assignment or something like that, and it goes back down, which that can happen, where your grade can fluctuate after we returned in the spring. But you are correct in that after March 13th, the grade should not have gone any lower than what it was on March 13th. So if you can shoot me an email regarding the details of that, then we can follow up on that and make sure that you get the answer that you need there. Another question that came up is, are you able to provide paper homework? So this is something that we are looking at. We're working with the district regarding that policy there. I have to tell you, our number one policy, or our number one priority, is to get kids engaged on laptops, get them engaged technologically. We want to have that connection with the class, with the student. And that's why, as we speak, Dr. Salazar is out front making sure that kids are getting laptops. So number one priority is we want to get kids engaged with the technology, using laptops, Google Classroom, Google Meets, all those kinds of things. But beyond that, we are looking into the option perhaps of having the paper copies. We do not have a protocol right now for that, but that is something that we are looking into. But like I said, our number one priority is we hope that we don't need paper copies, because we will get technology into the hands of all students. Okay, and then last question, it looks like there's a couple of different parts to this, is will the district address and fix access to links, web pages that teachers assign? So there could be a couple of different things here. Some of the web pages that teachers assign may be either created by that teacher, or where it's, it's created by somebody outside of our district and the teacher is linking to that. So the district wouldn't really have the ability to troubleshoot that if that's the case. But definitely, if you're having trouble accessing any links or web pages that teachers assign, please do make sure you let that teacher know, and then they can, bring that to the attention of information technology, things like that. What this could be referencing as well, as I know there were some issues with Google Classroom in the last few days. The majority of that stemmed from a power outage, actually, that took place in the area around our district office, and so it affected the servers that did Google Classroom. So they definitely had to troubleshoot that. And, unfortunately, it is something that's going to happen when we're operating a school through technology. But certainly Google is working really hard. Our district is working really hard to make sure that those interruptions happen they don't happen very frequently, and that they're very rare. Another question was students cannot download Chrome extensions. Too many things that the district is blocking. So I know that there are some things that the students' laptops, that they are not able to access. That is a security measure that's taken place, to make sure that students aren't downloading something that can then, bring a virus onto the computer. And not only could that damage that student's computer, but all of these computers are linked in a network. And so if they do allow for that, and a student does bring a virus kind of onto their computer, it could affect other computers as well. So, of course, as we go through this, we'll find if there are some tools that could be helpful to students, then sometimes the district can push those tools out to the students. But other than that, yes, that is a common security protocol to make sure that students aren't able to download whatever they want, right? Another question was brought up, reporting absence, called school, no information available. So I believe Mr. Lara addressed that. I know Ms. Gavin spoke on some of these things briefly as well. But yes, please make sure that you're addressing those issues. We do have staff manning the phones and on our main number. Please be careful. If you had your counselors direct phone line or something like that last year, they're primarily working from home. But if you call the main line of the Sweetwater High School, then you should be able to get in touch with somebody. Also, we have Marie Nakashima, that I know I saw her email was linked in that chat that Dr. Lara Mr. Lara mentioned as well. She is the one that you would want to get when you're reporting an absence. Please make sure that she is aware so she can clear that absence for you. And then, yes, there was brought up about that this meeting is scheduled at the same time that we are doing textbooks. Please be mindful of time conflicts in the future. Absolutely, we totally understand that. We do apologize if you had to miss some of this meeting because of textbook pickups or things like that. We certainly try not to double book things. At this stage, we wanted to go full steam ahead just to make sure that kids had their textbooks when they needed them. Dr. Salazar is passing out laptops as well as we speak. And we're just trying to get kiddos ready to go so that they can engage in their learning. But we will certainly be mindful about not having too many things in the same week, the same day, etc. Okay, are there any other questions that anybody had?
Well, some of the questions are being placed in the chat box. So right now we'll keep moving forward because I do want to be respectful of your time. I know we're already going a little over. So the last set of questions were for the psychologist, Dr. Walter and Mr. Martinez. So if you're able to address, I think there were a couple of questions in the list that was sent. If you can address those.
Yes, so there were two questions. The first question was about papers from SSI. So typically what happens with those when school is open is the packet goes to the registrar and then it comes to me and I get it to the case manager. That's a little complicated right now. So I'm going to post my name and phone number in the chat. And if that parent could get in touch with me and we'll figure out a way that I can get the packet from you, and that way we can get that taken care of. So I'm going to post my name and phone number right now, and we'll get that taken care of. If for any reason we have difficulty, you can always reach out to your student's case manager, and we'll figure out a way to get that paperwork taken care of. The second question was about IEP meetings and when will they be starting. We have started. Most parents last spring wanted to hold off on IEP meetings because we weren't in session and we all assumed that we would be back on campus now. So we do have quite a backlog. So your student's case manager should be reaching out to you to let you know when an IEP meeting will be held. However, if you have questions, if you're new to Sioux High, if you're coming from Granger or National City Middle or another site, please feel free to reach out to your student's case manager. Let them know you'd like to have a meeting and just sit down with everybody and just touch base, and we're happy to do that. If you're not sure of who the case manager is, please reach out to Mr. Martinez or I, and we'll be happy to let you know who your case manager is. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walter. And there's a question in the chat box earlier about, because I know we're posting a lot of valuable information in the chat box, different people on campus, their email, their phone numbers. Question is, will this transcription be available to parents? And yes, we'll go ahead and make a copy of this transcript of this chat dialogue and post it along with the link to this recording. But if you RSVP'd to this meeting with your email, we can also send it to you directly to your email. So we'll do that. Okay, just so you know. And I took a couple notes on other questions I noted there. So if you have another question, go ahead and put it in the chat box. Otherwise, or if you don't feel comfortable putting in the chat box, I can open it up. But I do want to be respectful of your time. I'll just go ahead and address these two other questions that I currently saw in the chat box. And that was regarding how some students already have an F this semester. You know, school just started, right? Less than 2 weeks ago. And that they noticed that, for example, this parent noted that his daughter already has an F in math, that they got a text message from their math teacher saying, your student has an F. Well, and that was brought to my attention yesterday as well by a teacher. Teacher said that she was just looking at her students in Jupiter grades, but because they could see their grades in other classes, noticed, wow, some of my students already have an F in a different class. So I am going to meet with teachers next week. We do have a faculty meeting, and I am going to bring that up. Not to say that we're not going to hold students accountable. Of course we are. When assignments are due, they're due. But especially right now at the beginning, certainly had teachers engaging with students, doing more get to know each other activities, team building activities. To my knowledge, there hasn't been a whole lot of content already being pushed out, although teachers are beginning to push out content. We purposely waited a little bit. We didn't want to do that on the first day of school because we still had students, number one, registering, and they still needed devices, and they still needed to connect to internet. So we knew there were a lot of obstacles, and some families still have those obstacles, and we're trying to help them. We certainly don't want any of our students to come in and already feel like they're behind. So we purposely had teachers doing more team building, getting to know each other activities. But it seems like maybe because they didn't submit an assignment that was part of a team building activity, maybe that's why they already have an F. So I am going to address that at the faculty meeting next week. That and it's not that we want to be lenient, it's that we want to be understanding. And we want to make sure that none of our students already feel anxiety and overwhelmed. I know, even as an adult, I just recently finished school. I know that if my professor gave me an F at the very beginning, I would feel really sad and disappointed and think, wow, maybe I can't do this. So I can only imagine what our poor high school students are feeling right now. So please know that I am addressing it with staff to please be more understanding with our students and maybe not push out those D or F grades right now. That's not helping. We're certainly at the very beginning stages of the semester. Learning is beginning. So, but we're going to get better at that. We will. So I am addressing that. The other thing I saw in the chat box is in regards to teachers clarifying when assignments are due, that sometimes due dates aren't specified with an assignment. So maybe they give the student an assignment, but it's not clear when it's due. Is it due today during class? Is it due the next time we meet? Is it due on Friday? So I'll make sure I address that as well. Like I said, I've been taking notes, and because we have a faculty meeting next week, I definitely want to share our parent concerns with our faculty so they understand what some of your concerns and questions are. So I will be addressing that as well. All right, I'm looking through the chat box to see if there are any other questions before I open it up. So question is in regards, and we knew this was going to happen. We're trying, as students pick up their textbooks, we're doing our best to make sure they get the actual books they need, but sometimes they may have taken a book that they don't need, right? That it was, it's for a different class, and now I have it. What do I do with it? I don't want to hold on to it all year. So know that you can return that book. And you don't have to wait in line, because I know to get the textbooks, there is a line, although it's been going really fast. When I go out there, I see that the students, but you don't have to do that. Out in front of the school, and I'm pointing like that I'm pointing to the front of the school. So out in front of the school of the main building on Highland, where we have the driveway, we always have a big carton box. It's a huge carton box with where parents and students can drop off textbooks. So we put it out there from 8 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday. So not on the weekends, but 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. You can drop off your books there. They'll be safe. And then we bring them back in and we log them into the library. Again, because we don't allow staff or parents or students onto campus to the library. That is a drop off for any books. And I'm glad that was brought up, because yesterday when I was also helping distribute books, I noticed that there were some students that still owe books from last year. So we still give them their books for this year. They need those books. We're not going to prevent them from having those. But if they have textbooks or reading books, library books, if they can please return them. And we've been telling them that, again, they can just drive up to the front of the campus where we have the big carton in, and then just drop them off there. And we just want to make sure we take that off their record so they don't have a debt. All right. Also, so again, who can help with the Infinite Campus parent? I think that was already addressed earlier. Ms. Iniguez, are you one that can help with that, with the Infinite Campus parent, or would that be Ms. Puga?
Yes, I can help with that too. I can help with either Infinite Campus or Jupiter Grades, and I will gladly assist our parents if they need. And I have put my information on the chat box also.
Thank you, Ms. Iniguez.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, and I see in the chat box, it's not a question, more of a comment about the textbook distribution, that it looked like we were taking safety precautions. They are a priority. So even before the pandemic, we've always said that safety and the overall well-being of our students, staff, and parents, and not just physical safety, but even emotional safety, that students always feel safe on campus. Now more than ever, we don't want to put anyone in harm's way. So even if someone believes we're going a little overboard, I'd prefer that than for us to not take every precaution possible. So, and I hope nobody thinks I'm being rude or disrespectful. Sometimes I see people coming toward me, but if I see they're coming a little too close or more within less than 6 feet, I start to take steps backwards, and so they keep walking toward me, and I tell them, I'm so sorry, can you please stop? We need to have a distance. So again, it's not because I think they're going to get me sick. I want to make sure I'm protecting them as well. So we do that all of the time on campus. We make sure that we take every safety precaution possible. That is a priority. And let's see again. I think those are all of the questions in the chat box. If I accidentally skipped it or didn't address one, and the question is that just came up right now, if Sue High will still offer electives such as drama, yes, we still offer all of our electives that are on the student choice list, and they work with their counselors. So what students did last semester when they were selecting their classes, because there are the classes that they have to take, right? They have to take English, they have to take math. Depending on their grade, it determines what social science class or what science level they take, foreign language, but then they have their electives, which is also an A through G requirement for them to be apply to college. So we offer drama, dance, band, choir. We have all our electives through our academies that you heard about earlier today. There's just many computer science principles, a lot of AP courses. There are a lot of electives. So if you're wondering if what electives are still available, you can contact your student's counselor. But at this point, student schedules have pretty much been set. But if there is an issue or conflict right now, as soon as possible is when you want to contact your student's counselor and see what can be done. But we certainly embrace, especially our visual and performing arts. We have our MCJ ROTC. We love all of our programs. We know that not every program fits every student's needs. That's why we have a wide variety and hope that we can fit each of your students' needs, that there is something of interest. I know when I was a student here at Sweetwater High School, I don't know if I mentioned that, I'm a graduate of Sweetwater High School, class of 91, almost approaching my 30th high school reunion next year. And I took dance. I loved it. I went to all of my other classes and I was on track to go to college. But let me tell you, that dance class, that was the reason I came to school every day, because I loved it. And I know that's the fact for other students, whether it's band, ROTC, drama, art. Art is also extremely popular. So we know those are all very important to our students and our families. So we're gonna keep having those on their schedule as much as we can. And if there are any other questions, again, I know we've gone 15 minutes overboard, but I could sit here with you all day and just chit chat. The assistant principals can handle the textbook distribution on their own. Any other questions, whether you put it in the chat box or you want to just speak up, unmute yourselves. Otherwise, I do want to thank you all. At minimum, we're going to have our coffee with the principal, typically the first Friday of the month. I know for the month of August, it was a little later, but that's because we started school a little later than what we're used to in July. But typically, we are going to have it the first Friday of the month. So the next one will be the first Friday in September. I know that's just, I don't know, 2-3 weeks away, but I figure I didn't want too much time to go by between us being able to talk to each other. But there might be other opportunities that we'll put together where if this time doesn't work, then we'll have other opportunities. But don't wait until the next month's meeting. If you have a question or a concern, that's why we purposely introduce you to so many people that we have here available on campus. If you don't know who the question goes to, email all of us. So you can email me, the assistant principals, the counselors, the psychologists, Miss Salma Martinez, Miss Amy Martinez, Denise Iniguez, Eric Hernandez. You can email all of us, Mr. Lara, our attendants, and whoever oversees that department or can answer your question will reply back. So that's always the safest way. So please don't wait until the next time. We want to keep those lines of communication open. And if you know any other parents or friends that were not able to attend, please share this information with them. Let them know it's going to be posted on our website. And I want to have more parents join us if they're able. But if they can't, we want to make sure they get the information they need as well. All right. So thank you all for being here. Miss Amy Martinez, did you have anything else to say?
Did a announcement. Your Sweetwater family wants to congratulate you, Dr. Gavin, for defending your dissertation last Monday. We know you worked so hard for the last few years while running a school. So thank you for being such a great leader, and congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all. It was a lot of hard work, but I'm so glad that's done because now I feel like I can give even more to Sweetwater High School. That's always been my priority. But yes, it's it's something I decided to do, go back to school, because I hadn't been in school for a long time, and I felt the need to go back so that I can improve as an instructional leader. I felt like I had more to give our students and our families, and going back to school did help me do that. So thank you. I did it for you. And for me to be a better instructional leader, because you deserve the best, and I want to be able to support all of you. So thank you all. Excuse me. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Rest up. Please encourage your students to rest. I know sometimes they start getting their homework. Make sure they have a balance. It's so important. Always tell not only students but adults, please have a balance. I work a little bit on the weekend too, but then my husband and I, we get on our bicycles and we go riding. That's how we decompress. That's how we relieve stress. I think it's important, even more so for our children. They're going through a lot of changes, a lot of anxiety. It's so important that they have that balance. So make sure that they're doing that for themselves. And you too, as parents, I know you're all working very, very hard. I know it's very stressful. So please make sure you take care of yourselves too. Okay? Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time. Tell another parent, another friend. I want to double the number of participants. Thank you.